Good evening, everyone. Crypto Strang here. Very honoured to welcome Joel back from CENTRIC, back on the channel. It's been over 10 months since we'd last had a chat, so it's great to have you back on. Obviously, the market's changed massively since our last chat.
Indeed, indeed.
Not a very good week.
It's been rough.
It's been very rough. I think it's opened a lot of people's eyes to what crypto can be and how devastating it can be, especially the Luna holders. You know,
Oh yeah,
I've seen it on Reddit. It's shocking. Just shows that a stable coin is not exactly stable, and I think it's caused massive shockwaves through crypto. The stable coin can actually be de-pegged like that. So let's be positive anyway. So obviously we're friends on Facebook. I follow you all the time. I'm on your Telegram groups. I see all the positivity going on with CENTRIC. But if you'd perhaps like to give us an update on the progression. I know you've got a lot of partnerships announced certainly in the last few months. So it'd be great to hear how you're getting on.
Sure. Thanks, Richard. It's great to be back on. Since January 1st, I think we're up to 33 companies globally that are accepting CENTRIC for their goods and services. Last year, we started getting integrated with payment gateways, and we're up to 3 of those. The two most popular ones are Coin Payments and Now Payments. And it's great because it provides an opportunity for companies to accept crypto for their goods and services, and then they have a choice. They have a choice. They can hold the crypto, they can receive fiat, or they just have some options, which is nice. One of the things I was actually speaking before a group last week, a group of CEOs mostly and business owners, and we make things really easy at CENTRIC. Do you have to accept CENTRIC? No. But our team can walk businesses through the process of getting set up so that they can accept crypto. And I would just highlight, just go to centric.com/senpay, CENPAY, centric.com/senpay, and fill out the doc. And then our team will get back to you, answer your questions, and get you set up with being able to accept crypto payments.
That's great. So you've got your own mobile wallet now, obviously on SenPay, because that'd be the easy bit. Have you got a mobile wallet now? I remember last time we spoke about.
That's still in the roadmap. We haven't released a mobile wallet yet. I mean, our intention is to have an app-based native wallet for both Apple and Android users, but that's still in process.
Okay, because I noticed one of your partnerships was actually a restaurant chain here in the UK.
Yep.
I think it was on your Telegram group, or was it tweet? I can't remember. I saw it in Astoria, and I've actually been to their chain of restaurants. There's actually one in Hertfordshire. I live in Essex in the southeast of England, and Hertfordshire is an hour from here. So how does a restaurant chain in the UK find out about CENTRIC and actually get on board? I was quite astonished by that, to be honest, that they're on board, you know, a restaurant chain. So that's great to see, though. I've got to be honest, I found it really...
No, I agree. And it's interesting, Richard, because a lot of the businesses initially that have started coming aboard were pre-existing CENTRIC investors. They were invested in CENTRIC, so they knew about the project. They're somewhat sophisticated and open to, emerging technology and things like that. And, the gentleman from the restaurant chain in UK, he was a CENTRIC investor, and he just wanted to be able to accept it at his restaurants. And so it's interesting because when we first started approaching restaurants, late last year, a lot of them were just one-offs, like one restaurant or maybe a couple, but this is a chain, and there's a lot of different ways that they can accept crypto. I mean for a while now, businesses have been able to accept crypto wallet to wallet. And the nice thing is that once they're integrated with the payment gateways, they can take online orders and have a whole host of other options there. It's pretty nice.
Nice. No, that's great.
I guess your question, Richard, was how do we get a restaurant chain in the UK, right? Our sales team is global, and they're kind of mostly based in Asia, but also in Europe. And they're making connections all over the planet to integrate CENTRIC with businesses that want to accept crypto. But one of the things that I've been just sharing a lot with people since February when it came out, and this wasn't specifically CENTRIC data, the there's a lot of market research that says that this market, this avatar, if you will, of crypto paying customers is going to be growing by almost 23% a year, compound annual growth rate year over year for the next 5 years. So even though the markets themselves, the investment side of crypto is kind of taking a hit right now, integration for business use cases is on the climb, and it's going to continue to rise for the next 5 years. And one thing that I shared this with the group I spoke with last week, and I share it with business owners every time I'm in front of them, is if you choose not to integrate for crypto payments and your competitors do, they're going to be gaining market share over you. And it's not something where people need to worry about it. It's inevitable. It's inevitable that there are going to be more and more ways for customers to pay for goods and services, and crypto's right on the forefront of that.
Yeah. No, so you've got a sort of a marketing team and sales team. I didn't realize you had it in Europe as well. I knew it was in Asia, based in the US, but I didn't realize you had a Europe team as well. So they're constantly getting the business in. That's wonderful. So again, you talk about longevity, and the more partnerships, obviously, the better you've got for continued growth. So no, that's great to see. So that's fascinating, to be honest. And I think the best thing you probably done last year was actually change to the Binance Smart Chain from my own personal.
I agree. That was a good move for us last year. It's interesting, Richard, because you hit the nail right on the head. There's a lot of strategic partners that we've gained since going to the BSC. Obviously, we've brought on a lot of businesses that want to accept Centric, but aside from that, just the access to partnerships is huge.
Yeah. Hopefully one day perhaps you can get your own debit card. I know that's a massive process to do, but can you just imagine the own Centric?
I can't talk about that right now, but there are a couple of companies that we're talking about with that right now. So hopefully that'll be a development soon, but we'll see.
Yeah,
a lot of moving parts.
Well, that would be absolutely incredible, wouldn't it? So when it comes to like the CNR and the CNS token, that always causes quite a lot of confusion for people. I've tried to explain to them now. You can probably correct me if I'm wrong here, but the CNR is like the governance, isn't it? The token. It's like and that's constantly sort of deflationary. You basically use your CNR to get your massive yield returns on the CNS. Now, I must admit, on my Centric wallet, my CNS balance has gone up massively over the last year. I think I've got not far off, I think about 1.8 million purely for the excellent yield rewards. Will that continue though, that percentage? Because it's a huge percentage yield returns. And it's incredible every time I log on to my Centric wallet, to be honest, to see how much CNS I've gained because of the CNR held.
Yeah, Richard, obviously we're in what we call the adoption phase of Centric, and these are the early years of the protocol and the project, if you will. We're enjoying these super high APYs for Centric Rise. But if you visit centric.com/keymetrics, go to the key metrics page at centric.com, you can actually see that the price blocks are slowly going down. By this time next year, I think we're at 8% for the month. Right now, I think we're 13%. And
it's still incredible, though.
It's still significant. And a lot of times people ask, is that 13% for the year? I'm like, no, that's for the month. Is that 8% for the year? No, that's 8% for the month. Obviously, what's going to happen is as we gain more adoption for CNS and the price gets valued at CNS higher and higher and higher, we're going to get closer and closer to its peg of $1. And once CNS is up there, basically the yield rate of CNR, which is that second token, is going to slow way down. So two things are happening in the protocol every single hour. CNR is yielding more CNS every hour, and simultaneously a certain amount of Centric Rise CNR that's sitting in quarantine in the base supply of the protocol is getting burned away, so that mismatch that's created is balanced out. So there's a yield every hour and there's a burn every hour to keep the protocol balanced, and it's self-regulating. It's basically working as designed, and it has been doing that for over 2 years now. It just keeps humming along. And what we believe is going to happen is as more and more people hear about Centric, they're going to continue to come into the project because they're going to see what's happening there. Like, hey, if just by holding Centric Rise, I'm going to be yielding more CNS every hour. And I think that's something that most people are very attracted to. But what's going to happen at the end of the day is probably within a few years, we're going to end up hitting that $1 peg for CNS. And once it's balanced at around $1, we're going to slow way down, and we're going to enter what we call the stability phase or the sustainability phase. And at that point, we're not going to see the same APYs that we've seen for Centric Rise that we've seen since its inception. It's going to slow way down to about 4% a year at that point. So CNR will continue to grow forever. It will always grow, and there will always be a certain percentage of CNR that's burnt from the base supply. And that's just what's going to happen. It's just going to keep regulating itself until CNS is at that peg. That one of the things I think is really exciting for people to see is that, like, just in the last 24 hours, almost 170,000 CNR were burned from the protocol quarantine supply, and that's every single day that burning taking place. Yeah, we've burned over, I think it's like 15% of the supply. And it's deflationary, so there's not going to ever be any more CNR. And so as we keep moving down that road, CNS will eventually stabilize at or near $1, and then all of that layer 2 plus utility is going to get unlocked. But one of the things I think is really significant is a lot of times people get concerned about the elasticity of CNS. And one of the things we always kind of bring back to the market is, don't forget that if there's a really large circulating supply for Centric Swap CNS, there's more CNR that's burning. So the more circulating supply, more burning happening in the protocol. And,
and then, of course, what's the max supply? I think it's about 160 billion, isn't it, if memory serves me?
Well, right now the circulating supply is about 17 billion, and then the total supply is like 354 billion. So that includes, of course, all the CNS is being held in CNR.
Yeah, I see. So as you develop, and obviously the more CNS will grow in value as the less CNR. But obviously the partnership, the growth is important. Also, you're on quite a few exchanges. I know you can't talk about it, but you will be going on other exchanges soon.
We're hoping so. We're obviously talking. We're talking to those tier 1 exchanges. We continue to engage them. And we're hoping we can pull one off by year's end, but that's ongoing. It's a process.
Yeah, because I've actually done a video before on how people buy an exchange and send it to their Centric wallet, convert it, and actually get their CNS working. I've actually done that video. That was to say about 8-9 months ago. So perhaps I should do an updated video, because obviously the wallet's changed since then. So I might do that because people found that very helpful. Do you ever see a time when the Centric wallet will actually have like a fiat deposit on there, perhaps, or was it?
That's a great question. Again, that's in some of the conversations that I'm in, and probably within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be talking with another company that could potentially help us with that, but nothing is set in stone yet. But obviously, we want to lower the barriers to entry because more and more people can come into crypto if it's easier, the onboarding process. Rather than having to go maybe to Pancake or to Mexi or Ascendex or some other exchange and then coming back over. But like you mentioned, Richard, the native Centric wallet is super helpful because you can do a lot of things in the wallet, the conversions.
Yeah,
mostly.
No, I will do another update video. I must do that this week to say it's very helpful, because I must admit I do like MEXC, the exchange on. That's certainly one of my favorites.
It's very simple, and you can pay all your transaction fees in CNS, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and it's also got a fiat deposit on there, which I find brilliant. I don't mind. I like Probit as well, but I'm not Pancake Swap's biggest fan. To be honest with you, I find it quite time consuming.
You're not alone, Richard. You're not alone. Yeah, we all have our preferences, don't we? We end up finding, we find the way to get what we want, and I fully agree with you that the closer you can get to the more fiat on ramps, even if people have to go through that KYC process and basically be verified in order to do that. I believe that really lowers the barrier to entry and makes it easier for people.
No, I see you also been increasing your team recently. I saw that post last month. Sorry, I forget his name. The new guy from South Korea.
Yes, yeah. So we brought on Sanjin. Yeah, Sanjin. He from South Korea. He's worked with a number of projects. He's been in tech and blockchain for a number of years, and we're really happy to have him on board. We haven't rolled out any strategies with him yet, but he's super intelligent and approachable and engaging. He's a really great member of the team. We're really happy to have him.
Yeah. How many people are in your team now across the board? You know,
Yeah, we were at about 3 dozen. We scaled back to about two dozen, but we have devs and operational people in several countries.
oh, great. So I see also sort of last year you've sort of about the NFTs as well. Do you see a place where you can have like a marketplace in sort of certain areas where you'd be sort of approaching, I don't know, how you sort of which area you're going down with the NFTs, where you're approaching famous people, how you, or you just have companies who can build their NFTs on you. For instance, I did a video recently where the first airline's done its NFTs and was very successful. So that's where you're sort of thinking about your NFTs, because obviously the market's saturated with marketplaces and people doing NFTs. I just wonder where your sort of thought process was going down the NFT route.
No, I totally get that. Back in the fall, early winter this last year, we actually, I don't know if you saw our campaign we did. We did an NFT collection on Air NFTs. It's one of the platforms on the BSC. And, it was very successful. We rolled it out, and it was funny too, because the first NFT drop, almost nobody on our team was able to get one. Because they went so fast. But then in the second round, I was able to get one, and a number of other people were able to get them. But that was an art collection. It was focused more on just kind of participating and collaborating in the marketplace, and then finding ways to kind of cross reference what we could do with an NFT collection and businesses that we work with. But to kind of move beyond kind of what you were talking about, Richard, about airlines using them, and the possibility of loyalty points and things like that.
Yeah.
We've been discussing that internally for a long period of time. It's probably a longer game for Centric, but we see a lot of business use cases for NFTs.
Yeah.
Warranties, insurance policies, concert tickets, and a number of different things that people can use for these. Not to mention the fact that they have a perceived value in the marketplace. People that understand them, sometimes they'll take something that was a freebie, something that was a giveaway from a company, and they'll start transacting it on the secondary markets and drive up the price.
Yeah, I actually bought myself some of them airline NFTs, Air Baltic. I actually bought myself, and they went rapid up in price. The CEO did go on CNN, so it did help the fact that then they become even more popular. But it's certainly a massive area. And you talk about insurance as well. Obviously, what's happened with Luna, that's another area, isn't it? A project that offers insurance for like especially a stable coin where it gets depegged like UST did. It's absolutely shocking, really. So there is so many parts to crypto, isn't there? It's just such a minefield.
It is, and I think what we're going to see is there's going to be different generations of crypto as things continue to evolve. And I think we're still really early in the Web3 era. Most of what we're dealing with is still Web2 for the most part. And I think at the end of the day, the users, it's at the user level that things are really going to happen. And users are going to gravitate toward the projects that make the most sense to them. And they're going to surround those projects with communities. And in the marketplace, as long as things are acceptable, they're going to continue to scale. But I think it's interesting, especially insurance policies. DeFi space is starting to scale. There's a lot of cross-pollination with banks. We're starting to see some large crypto projects even purchasing banks, old banks, just for even the market caps of some of these banks are actually smaller than most crypto projects. But a lot of crypto projects are looking at these banks for the bank licenses and just everything that a bank can do that crypto projects don't normally do or can't yet. By attaching to an actual traditional bank, they can do a lot of work there. But on the insurance policy front, I think this gets into the spirit of these trends. We've been trending paperless as a society for quite a while now. And I think it's just going to be one more way to kind of whittle things down because, I don't know if you knew this from my background, Richard, but I was in the insurance industry for like 15 years. And there's just a lot of I guess the best way to put it is it's slow. Customer service is slow. And getting what you want isn't always fast. And by leveraging NFTs and a blockchain technology, a lot of times what people can do is they can get what they need in this future world using NFTs. Rolling a 50-page insurance policy into an NFT makes sense. In just a couple of clicks, you're there and you get what you need. So I think what's going to happen, whether we're talking about NFTs and blockchain, crypto in general, is that things are just going to move faster and faster and faster. And as the metaverse starts to develop, and that's like a whole nother world of marketing and businesses and a marketplace that's going to be transactional. I mean, there's going to be a lot of money made in the metaverse. And one of the things I thought, yeah, exactly. But I mean, I envision a time when the meetings that you and I are having right now, we could, our digital twin, if you will, could be working for us in the metaverse and having the same thing happen, in a live context. But yeah, it's fascinating to me. Toward the tail end, I don't know if you remember this from January, tail end of December, I think McDonald's, they applied for like a dozen or so new trademarks specifically focused on the metaverse.
Yeah. It's gone parabolic in the last sort of 16 months. Yeah. I was quite skeptical of NFTs when they come out.
Right.
And I thought, what's the value there? And obviously I was quite naive at the time. And obviously last year was just absolutely astronomical. Some of the pricey stuff went for, and then GameFi's obviously picked off, and there's so many areas. So I see you brought out your white paper. I saw you because I saw you on YouTube. We introduced your white paper. It's quite in depth. We bring out another one this year, a big roadmap. Do you think
another version? Yeah, I mean the last update we had was in August of last year, and I don't know if we'll have another version of the current white paper, but I'm sure you read this in the white paper itself that there will be future white papers, plural. So there may be other projects that are integrated with Centric or related to Centric that actually have their own white papers, and as things continue to develop, on this long road that we're on, there's going to be updated information related to, okay, this is why this is going to happen in this way, and this is why we're doing it.
Okay, so certainly a long haul, isn't it? I don't know if we're in a sort of another savage bear market. I'm sure it's not going to be like 2018. I think it's too much mainstream.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, we've been in the bear market a little while, and then I don't know if you saw the tech sector on Monday, but everything, just the stock market, everything just tumped. And it's funny because when everything's red in the markets, whether it's crypto or the traditional stock markets, that's what people are focusing on. But a lot of projects that we talk with, including Centric, we're focused on development. It's like, we just keep building, we keep making connections. I got another 2 partnerships just yesterday, and it's it's funny. I mean, some of those are like small businesses that are looking to accept Centric, but the use cases we just keep adding them up, and we think what's going to happen is it's going to hit a critical mass at some point. People are just going to see, oh wow, look at what's happening in this ecosystem.
I know Africa's been talked about a lot. Do you see that as a sort of untouched market still, where you can sort of expand in Africa, because it really is an expanding continent? I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs on Africa. There's a huge market there waiting to explode with sort of crypto, especially sort of local currencies, which, let's be honest, most of them are like worthless. It's a hard thing to say, but I think crypto's got such a huge potential in Africa. And there's so many people that must adopt it. Do you see yourself expanding your team into Africa?
We do have some contacts there. The Nigerians obviously are very bullish on crypto. Nigeria even has a central bank digital currency right now, the e-Naira. And there are a number of countries where we have people that we're connecting with. We don't have any team members there yet, but we're hoping to develop, at the very least, some ambassadors and influencers out of Africa, because Africa is fascinating. I think a lot of times that continent is kind of forgotten in a lot of ways, but I mean, some of the most fertile farmland in the world is in Africa. They have so many amazing resources, and they have people that are hungry for knowledge and education, and they love crypto. And it's so I see a lot of things happening there probably in the coming years. Do we have anything that's like physically in place there yet? No. But we see a very open population there, very open to the possibilities. Yeah, I was actually talking with somebody from Nigeria last week.
Oh, that's great. So actually, I think it was actually on CNN again, Inside Africa, and they were talking about people with the potential of blockchain, and they were saying that you could get these companies into Africa. The governments were actually quite accepting of crypto, and they were sort of leaning towards the fact that they could offer them loans. especially like stable coins where it's not, let's say their sort of currency where it's competing against the dollar or the euro, and it's really struggles.
Right.
With crypto, everyone's on the same sort of page, aren't they? And you get paid in one coin and receiving the same coin. So I think it's absolutely massive out there. So it's great to see you've got a team worldwide, though, and I really can see huge potential there for Centric moving forward. You know, I know the dream one day is to get Centric to $1. Obviously, it's going to take a while, isn't it? So over time, with the investment, the partnerships, development, there's a huge potential there for it to reach its goals. Just need to get through this bear market, I guess. But
that's right. Time, I mean, it's nice that the mechanisms of the protocol keep playing along. But you're absolutely right. It's as the ecosystem develops, we're going to just keep adding more value to the network. But yeah, I am very excited about the possibilities in Africa, and we'll continue to explore that.
Yeah, I think certainly in Europe, we've got a lot of regulation coming up, perhaps in the States as well, but certainly in Europe, I think we've got a lot of regulation, and I just wonder what's going to happen the next couple of years. But I say of Africa and Asia as well, to a degree, and even South America, things like that. I think there's such a huge potential there. But no, I'm super excited about Centric. I think you've got all the fundamentals in place. Obviously, I'm always on your Telegram group, always following the latest news. So I appreciate, and we've actually got my own Telegram group, and there's quite a lot of Centric fans on there who obviously I've told them coming on here, so they're excited as well about your project. So you're certainly getting a fan base.
It's good to be back with you, Richard.
No, we appreciate, and we appreciate it must be constant work. I see your positivity on Facebook, especially these days of crypto. People appreciate that. So I wish you all the best. Again, I'm really hopeful for your project long term. It's fascinating when you talk about partnerships. You're constantly developing new team members. So I wish you all the best. And thanks very much, Joel. We appreciate coming on. It's absolutely fantastic to see you again. We're on Facebook, so we'll stay in contact.
Yeah, stay connected. My Facebook friend.
All right. Thanks very much, Joel. Brilliant. We'll chat again soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
Cheers now. Bye.